Hey there YouTube, Superbrain AK here, and well, got an update video for you guys. This is the entrance of my room. See my desk over there and computer desk over here. So, got a bit of a mailbag video and an update video. So, this is my new bed frame. It was a bunk bed, but my mom broke the bottom bunk, and so fortunately they were the same structure, so I just moved the top one to the bottom and got rid of the bottom one. But she already bought a single one because she didn't want to have to deal with these being in the way. Still, it adds structural support and everything. So I've got a bed frame now, and yeah, so plan is to definitely put a monitor on a piece of wood or something and have a monitor at the bed. That way I can watch the YouTubes in bed. Be a lot easier than that little tablet on its side and everything. So yeah. So got some stuff for my computer. Got some RGB fans, which have PWM control. Now I don't know if my Gigabyte board is really going to work very well with that, because it seems to default to voltage control, and even then it's still not great. These are voltage controlled fans in the front, and I've got PWM in the back. But, well, I'll put them in. They'll be better than nothing. So, yeah. The next thing, which I'm sure you guys have been wondering, did I keep the Insta360? Oh, heck no. As you saw in the last video, it definitely was not suited for what I'm trying to do. Therefore, I got a G7X Mark III. You can see that there. So yeah, pretty spiffy of a boy. It got it as a pack for like $630 something, so it came with all these extra little bits and bobs. But yeah, it's got the OEM charger, 4.2 volts, 0.7 amps. Yeah. If only this had a USB input instead of just mains. That would have been nice. But, oh well. They're like, we don't need to redesign the charger. But that's all that came with OEM. Well, I did get an SD card. But, you can take a look at the camera here. Got I don't know anything about what those mean, but something. It's got some sort of rotary encoder thing here for zooming in and out, which is interesting. And it also has this. So yeah. So I've got a 64 gigabyte SD card that came in the kit, and an OEM 1200 milliamp hour battery pack, and then the kit came with a 1400 milliamp hour from Vivitar, which is pretty neat. Haven't used it yet, but I've just been using the internal battery because I haven't needed more than one battery. But yeah, so it's a pretty good deal, I think, for $630. So the only problem with the door is you have to push it in and then close it. But trying to save space. Got your Bluetooth button. USB Type-C. Now this does only charge with power delivery protocol. It does not like to charge with just Type A to Type C. You got your micro HDMI. You got a little lanyard that comes standard with the Canon. You got brightness up and down. You got your mode select. Zoom in, zoom out, shutter, power, and you got a nice big screen, which this kit came with some screen protectors, which isn't the greatest, but it's better than scratching up the screen, and it's something. So, I don't know. The multifunction, got your record button so you can start recordings. You know, it doesn't use the shutter. It just, so that way you can take a picture while you're recording, I believe. And you got a little rotary encoder here. Left, right, up, down, Q set, which is like some sort of a quick menu. And of course it's touchscreen. You got your playback and switch to playback, switch back, and then your big menu. Then, oh yeah, and on the side here, got your mic port, which I don't have a mic for it yet, but the audio on it is pretty decent. Definitely louder than the iPhone that you're currently being recorded on with. Got a little flash. Cute little guy. It just pops up out of nowhere. Boing. So yeah. Let's move over to the tablet and show you the specs. Here are the specs of it. Canon PowerShot G7X Mark III. So, definitely did not buy it for MSRP. And max resolution 5472 by 3648. 20 megapixel sensor. It's got BSI CMOS, which is backwards CMOS. You're not looking through all the bond wires and whatnot, which is pretty interesting reading about. It's got the new Digic 8 processor. It's got some optical image stabilization, f1.8 to 2.8 aperture, whatever that means. Oh yeah, the screen tilts and whatnot. So, bring it up. So it comes down, so you can bring it like that. Pretty neat. So continuous drive, which is basically holding down the shutter button. It'll take 30 pictures, which is, you know, full resolution per second. But for actually recording, records in MPEG-4 and 4K 30 FPS, 1920 by 1080 at 120 FPS, or 60 or 30. And stereo microphones. And according to the connectivity of the USB, it's 3.2 Gen 1, so that's 5 gigabit, which is pretty neat. And then it's got wireless, so you can actually live stream straight from the camera as long as the camera's on the Wi-Fi, I believe. Oh, and it uses the NB13L battery pack. So let's get it powered on. Alrighty, so you can also see that I upgraded this to help with the focus, because otherwise you'd just be looking straight through the glass at the stuff underneath. And well, I keep my work surface clean, so it just focuses right through it. So let's get this guy powered on. Nice fancy display there. And the only thing I don't like is it has a narrow focus range, or whatever that means. I guess that's like depth of field or something. Whereas like the things in the center are focused, but as soon as you move closer or further away, it quickly gets out of focus. But just jump through the menus here. Now this is currently in video mode. So like here, that's where you turn on 120 FPS. And that's how you pick all your different resolutions, or yeah, recording modes. Yeah. And then I've got it in the 1-point autofocus, so that way when I hold something up in the center, it'll automatically focus to that, instead of trying to track things and tapping the screen and whatnot. So, also, if you see this symbol, that's actually the rotary dial on the lens, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, there's the Bluetooth and whatnot. Even has GPS? Interesting. Oh, it probably talks to the phone and gets the phone's GPS. Interesting. So yeah, I'm on the 1.2 firmware, which I think that helps increase the focus and whatnot, their autofocus, because there is the speed of the autofocus. Forget where that is, but oh, this movie servo. So responsive or smooth, and so in movie mode it's very slow to actually move in and out if you set it to slow or smooth. But I've got it on responsive, which is still a little bit slow, but it's still pretty good. So I'm gonna quit rambling on this guy and get you guys switched over to recording on it, so you can test the difference in quality. Alrighty, so I've got the tripod switched over to the Canon, and let's get on with the video. So I'll first bring you up so I've got a little wider field of view. There we go. So yeah, what the kit came with, comes with a little carry bag, water resistant something or other, which cute little bag. Got a strap which swivels, and yeah, just barely enough to fit the camera itself. So yeah, there's that. Now, of course, I do have my grandfather's carry bag, because he did a lot of photography and whatnot. And there you can see it. It's going from low pro, which is pretty neat. Definitely a lot more sophisticated. It's got a front pouch here. Got some headphones. Oh, and the Insta360 mic adapter. I just kept it just because it's a Type-C mic adapter. We'll see if it's compatible with anything. So yeah, I got room for SD cards and whatnot, and little add-ons. Oh yeah, there is some stuff that Grandpa left in it. Got a Nikon Japan dash 4.0D. I don't know if this is some sort of lens cap or something, or some sort of filter. I don't know. There's two of those in here. I think they're both 4.0s. -4. This doesn't say anything. So yeah, probably from some sort of camera. I'll have to ask Grandma. Yep, because Grandpa is not around anymore, unfortunately. His Parkinson's got him. But the inside of it is got a little pouch with a little movable divider, so it just velcros in, which is pretty neat. Got my 78 watt-hour power bank that I built myself, which fortunately doesn't support charging the camera because it's not power delivery, it's only quick charge 3. But I do have some stuff from AliExpress which should help with that. And I've got an old S5 that I got from work. It's got my 500 gig SD card. It's a little bit much for that guy. So yeah. So that's the main camera bag. And this I just throw in my backpack because I don't need any of the other accessories really. But what it came with as well is this little bag from Vivitar. So it's got the lens protectors, which are just plastic, this SD card holder, lens cloth, cleaning solution, Q-tips, and this little tripod, which I did have to re-glue these little rubber feet, and all I did was use some liquid electrical tape. Neat. Which works pretty well. It's actually pretty solid. I used that on to hold the handle of a whisk, which actually worked out very well. Keep it watertight and everything. So yeah, got a little SD card tray, which is pretty neat. I don't know if that's supposed to clip onto something. I don't know why these bumps are here. But yeah. It's got all these SD card slots, so I can fit 6 SD cards. Don't think I'll have that many. Grandma sure does. Got a 1400 milliamp hour Vivitar battery pack of the NB13L variety. Got this little SD card reader, which is, it's kind of slow because it's only 2.0. So I probably won't be using it. I've got other ones which are actually slightly faster. And got this guy. Maybe bring you in a little closer. There we go. Okay, a little brush, and this pops out for something. And then this comes out, and it's triangular, or whatever that shape's supposed to be. A soft triangle. So, I don't know. Some sort of cleaning pen. So yeah, that's it for the camera equipment. Let's get on to the actual electronic stuff. So, I got myself some new crimps, but these are the ones that I had before. I don't know if you can see these. These are relatively thin, whereas these ones are a much different material. Now, if you can tell there, but these ones, if you crimp it, it just pulls right off the wire. And so I was testing it, and actually all I did was pull on it with some needle nose pliers, and it just ripped to pieces. So yeah, these are going in the trash. So I got these ones from Wi-Fi, and what was there, 150 pieces of the blue ones and 90 pieces of the yellow ones. So these are 12 to 14, or 12 to 10, and these are 16 to 14. And these are Spade Connectors for doing the battery projects that I'm working on. A DC power distributor. So next thing is got a USB load, dummy load. And it's got Type A on the input, micro B there, and Type C here. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't have any pass-through on it, but it's got a little potentiometer, and it actually uses an IRFP 260, which I had a bunch of them, but I used them all. But you guys will definitely know that from all the ZVS drivers that me and all the other guys have made. So the reason why I bought that is, well, one, 65 watts versus the 35 watts of this guy. But unfortunately, this guy seems to be dead. He acts like a direct short, but I've tested the transistor inside, and it's actually, that isn't a dead short. It works normally. It's actually this little op amp down here. So you can go watch the tear down and poke through of this guy. So I need to find a replacement for that op amp. Somehow it got shorted and it's feeding power to the transistor, which then shorts the output. So this guy was nice because it had a nice screen and whatnot, and it has pass-through to use a quick charge trigger board. So I'll have to work my magic on this guy to give it some sort of trigger. I might use one of these power delivery trigger boards and possibly incorporate this guy too, but that's a work in progress. And last but not least, I got some surface mount adapter boards, so that way I can go from surface mount to the through hole. So another thing I got, this is on suggestion from a fellow guy commenting on the first phase testing of the 3000 watt boost converter. That's Ba Koshbayer. Sorry if I completely butchered that, but he was suggesting some 1EDI 60N12AF Mosfet drivers for it, because he was like, optocoupler is definitely going to slow you down. If you can see that here, I was using the optocoupler there. So that should completely replace all of this, at least most of it, actually pretty much all of it, with these little guys. Let's zoom you in. There you go. So, let's get you moved over to the tablet, and I'll show you what these Mosfet drivers can do. Or at least they promise to do. Alrighty, so these are the 1 EDI E-ICE driver. Single channel Mosfet gate driver IC. So, single channel isolated Mosfet driver, input to output isolation voltage up to 1200 volts. That's pretty good. Up to 10 amp typical peak current at rail-to-rail outputs. Separate source and sink currents, or outputs. And it's got a galvanically isolated coreless transformer driver. So this is the typical application of it. So you got your control logic, you got one voltage rail, and these are two different drivers. And then it's got the galvanic isolation, and then it's got your high side and low side MOSFETs. And it's got, for the gate, it's got the charge resistor and discharge resistor, so you can tune your on and off times. And so you'll have a voltage supplied to this side of the MOSFET driver, which is on the high side, you know, in reference to here. And then on the low side, you'll have to have a second MOSFET driver and a separate voltage rail, which is connected to there, in reference to there. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be getting that fancy. I just need the low side resistor, or MOSFET. And that's a block diagram. So, got your in and inverting in, I guess. Voltage in, under voltage lockout, ground. It's got the transformer there. And then the other side of the transformer. Shoot through protection, under voltage lockout on this side. And it's got the charge and discharge circuitries for charging and discharging the gate. So yeah, it's going to be definitely an upgrade to the 1500 watt or 3000 watt boost converter project, which has definitely been delayed for quite a while. So I think I'm going to carry on with that, hopefully pretty soon. And yeah, I think that's it for the update videos for you guys. There are some other stuff on the way, like isolated DC to DC converters, which will definitely help with driving the gates, and some Type C and Type A power delivery modules, and also a secondary Type C, a second Type C to Type C cable, so that way I can get power delivery through the UM25C power meter from Ruby Ding. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.